We got Kentucky State this week, and we're just excited and happy to finally be able to get to hit somebody else. You know, we've been hitting each other all camp, and you don't really know how good you are on either side of the ball. You want to think that you're pretty good, but you're going against the same guys every day, so you don't really know how good they are on the defense side or how good we're on the offensive side, so we can't really judge it until we play somebody else. So we finally is here, and we're looking forward to the challenge of Kentucky State. It is a D2 program. We probably got a few more bullets in our guns than they do. They probably got about 25, 30 scholarships, and we're up around the 60 range. So we do expect to play well and expect to win the football game. But we're not disrespecting them by no means. We respect all and fear none. So we're looking forward to the season. We got new coaching staff on the defense side of the ball. I brought in some other players over there, and those guys are looking good. And offense side of the ball, we got a new quarterback in, and added a couple more pieces on that side of the ball also. So we're looking forward to continue what we did last year on offense and be even better. I'd open up for questions.
Coach, if I recall correctly, you started the season last year in a 3-4, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then you went to the 4-3 midway?
Yes, sir.
When was it about you went back to the 4-3 or went to the 4-3?
I was I think game 4. Game 4 or 5.
Did you sense that they played better in the 4-3 than the 3-4?
I did. I think that, we didn't have really the personnel to play the 3-4 a year ago. And I think just the 4-3, you guys were more comfortable with the 4-3 and more familiar with it. And they kind of bought into it a little better than they did the 3-4, I think. And so therefore, they're going to play harder. They're going to play faster. And we got a little bit better results.
That's what you'll be in this year?
Yes, sir.
Are you, I guess I wasn't on the beat, but your defensive coordinator had to take a leave of absence midway through, is that right?
Yes, sir. Week 3. Week 2, actually, he went into the hospital. And it was like week 3 before he was diagnosed with stomach cancer, very rare cancer. It took him 2 weeks to find it. That's how rare it was.
Exactly.
So then we had to make some changes and bring another guy in. And of course, we went from the 3-4 to the 4-3 when we brought the new coach in.
And yeah, we get new coordinator now. Do things seem a little better this season in terms of the way the kids are looking?
I think so. We brought him in. He was here in the spring. Coach Mike Ketchum. And he's done a tremendous job with those guys. And those guys have bought in since the spring. And they're flying around. And we got a couple more bodies over there. And that was the issue last year. We was getting wore down late in games because we didn't have the numbers. So we got a couple extra bodies over there. Not where we want to be, but we got a few more than we did last year that can come in and play and help us out in games. So we got to get the rest of those guys up to look a lot better on the defensive line this year.
We had a lot of games last year. I mean, 3-9, but really you look at it, you probably feel like it could have been 7-5 just as easily if a few plays here and there. Yeah, a lot of close games as well. What's the difference in turning that around, you feel? Red zone was one thing, I know.
Yeah, I think it was red zone was one that we didn't score enough touchdowns when we had opportunities. Again, defensively, we got wore down and people scored on us late in games. Inexperience and depth. We didn't have experience. We wasn't used to being in that situation, winning games, pulling out late. So we got to get that changed and get that turned around. Hopefully with the new depth that we have, we can hold people and continue to stop them. And then in the red zone, we got to execute a little bit better in the red zone and get 7 points instead of 3-point opportunities. Because, we had an All-American kicker last year, and he didn't kick very well. And so a couple of those opportunities that normally in the past I would go for, I opted to kick because we had an All-American kicker, and then he didn't execute very well sometimes. So, it's a game of football. You roll the dice, and when the stuff is going right, you look good. When it ain't, you look bad. So it is what it is.
Coach, turnover margin was also a big factor last year too. The team they weren't making big plays either on defense. What have you been doing to correct that on offense, and also I assume on defense too, to make more big plays this year?
Right. Well, we always want to take care of the football on offense. Number one, we don't want to turn the ball over. if we can take care of it on offense, we won't have to worry about that deficit. And anything in defense do will be a plus. But last year we wasn't very good on defense. It's not a secret, and we didn't cause a lot of turnovers. And then on offense, we turned the ball over more than we should. And so we got to get that corrected on both sides. Where defense got to start causing turnovers, ripping at the ball, getting some picks. And then offensively, we got to take care of the ball, because if you can stay in the positive, the turnover ratio, you probably got a real good chance to win the football game.
You talk about David Watford coming as new quarterback and how easy this could be for him transitioning from one program to another when he's got such a veteran group of wide receivers, because the wide receiver position was your deepest last year, appears to be your deepest again this year.
It is. I think we got a lot of talent at wide receiver. We probably can go 6, 7, 8 deep in wide receiver, not miss a beat. So we're bringing Dave in with his experience playing in ACC, playing in Virginia. I think he broke a lot of records his sophomore year up there, throwing the ball around with attempts and completions. And just his experience, he was here in the spring, so he got to work with those guys, starting to get his timing down. But it's going to be up to the linemen up front. You know, they got to give him time to throw the ball. If they give him time to throw the ball, we can get the ball down the field. And we got some receivers that can get open. So it's still going to be, we're going to need all of that. We're going to need the big guys up front to give them time. If they do that, he'll execute.
Is your offense, with your play calling, philosophy, that kind of thing, any different with him than it was last year, you feel?
No. My philosophy is to play to my strengths and defense weaknesses. I don't ask my kids to do stuff they can't do. And you'll be a lot more successful. It's not rocket science. It's very simple. I don't mind telling people.
Now on the defensive side, Miles obviously had a very good year for you last year. You probably expect even more this year. How important is he for what you're doing, and for that matter, his leadership as well?
It's very important. You know, he's a team captain. We named him team captain today, and it's because of the way he's been leading from the end of the season last year to this season. He's all-conference preseason pick, and we expect him to be all-conference at the end of the season. He's had a great spring and a great camp. He's causing a lot of havoc in the backfield for us offensively, and that's good for him and it's good for the team, because if he draws double teams, that's going to make everybody else get one-on-ones, and that's going to make the rest of the defensive linemen just as dangerous as Miles if they got one-on-one. So, and if you try to block him one-on-one, you're not going to be very successful. So it's great. It's great for him, and it's great for us as a team that he's playing well, and I think he's playing the best football of his career right now.
Did you get out of camp relatively healthy? Any major things happening?
We did. We got a couple of young guys hurt. Probably be out. One guy was out for the season. Another guy's out for maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. But then another guy will be back in 3 weeks. Other than that, we're fine. You know, we got some bumps and bruises, but it's football. And, we had a tough camp, and we did a lot of hitting. So we expect to have some bumps and bruises and a couple injuries here and there. But just a couple guys. One guy for the season, another guy maybe half the season. I can't tell you right offhand. What?
Devin Johnson. Who's our first?
Johnson broke his small finger, and so he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. Joad Edwards, shoulder, so he might be season, or he might come back so late. And then Desmond Sturgeon, had a knee. So those 3 guys.
Is the shoulder a separation or?
He had some loose bone, and then so it was. We was hoping it was AC sprain, but it was a little bit worse. So we got to wait and see when he get back week 5 what he can do if we can redshirt him and try to play.
Too much. Of course, you know, I'm looking at, but what do you know about Kentucky State's personnel and what's their strengths?
They was like us last year. They was 3-9 or something of that nature. So they got a little work to do on both sides of the ball, just as we do. But they got their defensive roster has 8 transfers, 7 on the starters on the depth chart, and 1 backup. Then on offense, I think they have another about 9 transfers. The rest of their team is high school guys, so they've been out beating the roads, and we don't know how good those players are going to be. They come from anywhere from FBS schools to FCS schools, and so they got their team. They gonna line them down against us, and we're gonna line them down against them, and still got the best players. But we don't have we got really no film on them. And then we could have exchanged film, but we decided not to. One reason they're out of conference, and once they get their hands on our film, we can't control who they give it to. We have a thing in our conference where we don't give out our conference tape. So we want to limit it as much as possible, give it to outsiders, because then it can get out to other teams. So we chose not to exchange tape.
That was a mutual thing?
Yeah. Well, they called us and asked if we want to change it, and we told them.
Do you play, is this a 1-year deal?
Yes, it is.